The Haas team was embroiled in a driver drama earlier this season when it laid off its Russian driver Nikita Mazepin. But following recent developments this summer break, it appears that the American racing team are in another driver's situation after Haas team principal Guenther Steiner's latest comment about Haas contract negotiations with its driver Mick Schumacher is tilting toward Formula One, being without a German driver after the remaining 9 races of the 2022 Formula One season. Why is Haas in this situation? What did Guenther Steiner say about Mick Schumacher? Sebastian Vettel's retirement announcement appears to have caused a stir, not only in the Alpine camp, but also in the Haas racing team. The German driver, who's been a mentor to Haas driver Mick Schumacher, revealed upon his retirement that he would prefer Mick to replace him in Aston Martin next season. Since he initially thought Aston Martin had no plan B following his announcement. I do have my opinion, I think very highly of Mick. I'm not entirely objective because I'm very close to him. But I do think he's a great driver and is a learner. He keeps learning when others stall or stop making progress. He does have qualities, but he's also very young still. He doesn't have a lot of experience. The 4-time Formula One champion went on to say that while he would like to see Mick in his seat next season, the decision is not entirely in his hands. I don't know, it's not my decision. If I'm asked, I'll give my opinion and not hold back. But in the end, the team will have to make that decision, said Vettel. Mick Schumacher also did not rule out leaving Haas for Aston Martin to replace Vettel, saying never say never when asked if he's committed to Haas for next season, or if he would rather swap the 7th best team on the constructor standing for the 9th best team on the grid, given his relationship with Vettel and Aston Martin owner Lance Stroll. Ferrari is full, and here Haas is not. What happens? We'll see. Again, if there is anything that we have a feeling that we need to share, we will share it at the right moment, said Schumacher. However, things did not appear to go well for the German, as the Aston Martin racing team quickly signed Fernando Alonso on a multi-year contract to replace Sebastian Vettel for the 2023 season, leaving the son of Formula One legend Michael Schumacher with no choice but to reconsider his future with Haas. And given the reality of the 23-year-old driver, he appears to be in a pickle, as his only realistic route out of Haas has been closed off and the majority of teams on the grid are looking for a veteran rather than an inexperienced driver. Furthermore, if Haas decides not to continue with Ferrari due to their arrangement that gave the Ferrari's Young Driver Academy member a seat in the American racing team, he'll be left with little to no option left. However, during the 2022 Hungarian Grand Prix, Schumacher revealed that he was in talks with Guenther Steiner about a contract extension that would see him race for Haas next season. Talks are going on every day. It will probably only go into more detail after or during the summer break, said Schumacher. However, following the Aston Martin saga, it appears that Steiner, who is known for his lack of filter and ruthlessness with his words, has now decided to halt contract negotiations during the summer break. According to the Haas CEO, he's not in a hurry to negotiate a contract extension with Mick because he holds all the cards and appears to be the German driver's only option given the Aston Martin news. Guenther Steiner stated that it is up to him and Haas owner Gene Haas to decide how the contract extension with their driver will be handled, and that Ferrari has no say in the matter. We don't have to wait to see what Ferrari says. We never decide the driver before the summer break, and will not do so this year. Obviously, I will start to speak with Gene over the summer break, and then you know how we do it. You'll ask again at the next race in Europe, and then we'll tell you sometime in the end of September or October what we're doing, and the same will be happening this year, hopefully. It's also worth noting that Mick and Steiner's relationship hasn't been great for a while, with Mick admitting that there has been tension between the two of them. Mick explained earlier in the season that Steiner was becoming increasingly frustrated with his lack of points when he said, "Yes, there was tension, but that's normal. We all want to score points, and I think that's part of the frustration, and I understand that." Furthermore, his costly crashes put Steiner in a bind, as Schumacher had a larger repair bill than the money earned from points prior to scoring his first point at the 2022 British Grand Prix. Mick crashed the Haas VF22 at the 2022 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, as well as the 2022 Monaco Grand Prix, and the repair cost was estimated to be around $2 million. Much to the dismay of Steiner and the Haas team, who were already constrained by the 2022 FIA regulation that prohibited them from spending more than the budget cap. At the time of his crash at the 2022 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Haas was already over their repair budget for the 2022 season, with the crash costing the American racing team $1 million, much to the disappointment of Steiner, who hinted for the first time that he might not retain Mick if he doesn't improve. It's not just possible to continue like this, and he knows that. He's also crashing into a wall at some stage. It's also not healthy. Obviously, he wants to score points, and if you crash into the wall, you don't score points. He knows that. So it's like putting pressure on and telling him you shouldn't go and crash. I don't do that. I never do that, because I think they know that they shouldn't be crashing. So I think there's a lot of things going on, but there is not one simple answer. We need to see how we go forward. There's a lot of things we have to sort out now, said Steiner. However, following the crash at the 2022 Monaco Grand Prix, Mick Schumacher has since scored his first point in F1, after finishing P8 at the 2022 British Grand Prix, earning 4 points. He also earned his second point in the following race at the Spielberg circuit, finishing 6th and scoring 6 points. He was also impressive at the Hungarian Grand Prix, but was denied a point by Haas strategist. Nonetheless, he has only been able to score points twice in 34 starts, and Kevin Magnussen, who returned to Haas this season, has been the better driver of the two. So his future with the American racing team is uncertain. In qualifying, Magnussen leads Schumacher 11-2, and the Danish driver has 22 points and is 11th on the 2022 driver standings, while Schumacher has only 12 points and is 15th in the standings. Schumacher's situation worsens, as it has recently been reported that Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto is no longer convinced of his potential. And this is not to mention that should Binotto decide to add him to the Ferrari squad, the Ferrari's boss is not certain for next season, as he is presently fighting for his job due to his less impressive season with Ferrari, where they're playing catch-up to Red Bull despite having a car that is just as good as the RB18. Given these circumstances, Steiner is not in a rush to extend Schumacher's contract, as Haas can now rely on the time factor, knowing perfectly well that they are Schumacher's only option for a seat in F1 for the coming season. However, Mick Schumacher's situation is not entirely hopeless, as it appears that he may have a chance with Red Bull's development program, after Helmut Marko, head of Red Bull's driver development program, recently revealed that he has a soft spot for the German driver, when he said, "He has improved compared to last year, but he was always in the Ferrari program, so I never had him on my radar." Also, if Williams team principal Jost Capito decides to replace Nicholas Latifi and look for a partner for Alex Albon, he may choose to bring his fellow German to the British racing team. And not to mention that Alpine is unsure who will partner Esteban Ocon for the 2023 season, so he may have a chance with the French racing team. Nevertheless, all of these opportunities are speculative, and Haas is currently Mick's only certain option for a race seat next season. So what do you think about Mick Schumacher's situation? Do you believe Haas' contract should be extended? Or do you think they should let him go if he doesn't improve? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, the next one on your screen is worth watching.